Greetings, loved ones. Although some forms of abuse and neglect are more difficult to detect than others, there are always signs and clues which, singly or together, suggest that a child might need your help. Two types of clues are usually given by an abused or neglected child: physical indicators and behavioral indicators. Today we're going to talk about these physical indicators and behavioral indicators of child abuse and neglect. Help us get these messages out. Please subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit the like button and the notification bell, and please share these messages with others. You could save a life. So let's talk about how there are physical and behavioral indicators with a child who is being abused. Physical indicators may be clues that are the easiest to detect and diagnose. Aspects of the child's appearance and the presence of bodily injury are physical indicators. Behavioral indicators: often children will send messages through their behavior which suggest the occurrence of abuse or neglect. These clues may be in the form of acting out behaviors or behaviors which reflect the child's attempt to cope with or hide the abuse or neglect. Behavioral indicators are more difficult to detect and interpret than physical ones. It is not your responsibility to use these indicators to determine if a child is being abused or neglected. The child's safety and the serious ramifications of alleged child abuse and neglect make it critical that the determination be made by the experienced and trained professional. You can help by asking for the assistance the child may need. So immediately report any suspicion of child abuse or neglect to your local public children's service agency. Remember that child abuse and neglect involve people. Every incident is individual in its causes and effects. There is no blueprint for identifying an abused or neglected child. While any of these clues may occur without cause for alarm, you should be especially alert to frequent repetition or the presence of multiple indicators. Child abuse falls in one or more of four general categories. There's physical abuse, there's sexual abuse, there's emotional abuse, and there's neglect. So let's talk about some clues to recognizing physical abuse, the physical indicators of physical abuse. They may have unexplained, chronic, or repeated bruising. Be especially alert to bruises on the face, the throat, the upper arms, the buttocks, the thighs, or lower back, in unusual patterns or shapes which suggest the use of an instrument like a loop, a lash, something that's linear or circular or rectangular marks. And if they're on an infant, or if they're in the shape of bite or pinch marks. Also if they're in clusters on the bodies. Also if there are wounds in various stages of healings. Other physical indicators of physical abuse in children are unexplained burns. So you need to be especially alert to like cigarette burns. This type of burn is circular and often found on the child's palms, the soles of their feet, their genitalia, or their abdomen. Then there are immersion burns. These burns characteristically will produce sharp lines of demarcation, and they'll appear on the buttocks, the genital area, or extremities, like on the hands and feet where they put the hands in hot water. There's a line here. The burns can produce a glove or a stocking effect. On the buttocks, immersion burns often will be donut-shaped. Then there could be rope burns, burns in the shape of common household utensils or appliances like an iron. The other physical indicators of physical abuse in children is unexplained skeletal injuries. Skeletal injuries resulting from physical abuse often include injury to the facial structure, the skull, bones around the joints, fractures and dislocations caused by a severe blow, or twisting or pulling of an arm or a leg. And another thing that should raise an indicator is any skeletal injury in an infant. There are other unexplained or repeated injuries that we need to be alert for, like injuries resulting from physical abuse often include things like lacerations, abrasions, welts, scars, human bites, or pinch marks. There could be missing, chipped, or loosened teeth, tearing of the gum tissue, lips, tongue, and skin surrounding the mouth. There could be loss of hair, bald patches, broken eardrums, retinal hemorrhage, and abdominal injuries. These are all physical indicators of physical abuse. So let's talk about some behavioral indicators of physical abuse. Children will have behavioral extremes. They will withdraw, they will have aggression, they may regress in their abilities, they may have an inappropriate or excessive fear of a parent or caretaker. They might have unusual shyness or wariness of physical contact. They may also have antisocial behaviors such as substance abuse, truancy, running away. This you'd see in teenagers. There may also be a reluctance to return home. Like after they go to school, they don't want to go home. And they also might believe that the punishment they receive is deserved. There may be suggestions that other children should be punished in harsh manners. Then the victim may disclose their abuse. They may have depression or excessive crying, unbelievable or inconsistent explanations for injuries, and the child may also attempt to hide their injuries. According to the CDC, over half of all the children in the world, this blows my mind, 1 billion children ages 2 to 17 experience violence every single year. The question is not if you'll encounter a victim of violence. The question before God is, what will you do when you do encounter them? You could be the person who saves a life. You are called. We're all called to be champions for justice. If you're a victim of violence, listen to me. I want you to know that you are loved, you're valued, you're intelligent, and you are worthy. God does not want you to suffer violence. He wants you to live free from violence in peace and tranquility. There is a way out. It's not your fault. Abuse is not love, and above all, I want you to know you are not alone. If you're a victim of violence, reach out to someone today, and if you find yourself in a dangerous situation, call 911 for help. If you know of a child or other person suffering violence, tell the authorities. In our next episode, we're going to talk about clues to recognizing sexual abuse in children. Until then, God bless you.